What is the coolest thing about your home house? Pretty lame, but my pantry light turns on and off automatically when the door opens. So it's like a refrigerator, except it keeps your food at room temperature. My parents' house was part of the Underground Railroad. There's a trapdoor in the dining room that leads into this tiny bunker that has 2 cots in it. It also had an escape route. It's now caved in. That led outside. My parents found it accidentally when they were refinishing the dining room floor and had to move the giant antique table that came with the house. They also found an old ledger that all of the people who used the bunker signed and which my parents donated to a local museum. Do you live at Wayne Manor? My landlord upstairs owns a Papa John's and gives me free pizza all the time. That it's a 35-foot sailboat. The 9-foot deep heated in-ground pool. My parents bought their house for $150K and now it's worth almost $2 million. That's pretty cool. Not my current home, but my last house had what is known as a widow's walk. Basically there was a hatch accessed by a staircase in my attic that would let you go on a special deck that was on the roof. It was a 2-story 130-year-old Victorian home on the Illinois River, and it was made so that people could watch the boats leaving the docks that were located just up the street. My wife and daughter loved it for sunbathing. They can only be seen by an airplane. But in general we like to just hang out and sit on collapsible chairs we'd store in that attic. The deck section was just a 12x12 flat section built on top of the 20-degree pitched roof and had a railing around it. It was awesome. My apartment's on the top floor, so it's warm in the winter, which in Canada is nice. It's clean. After reading about some of the horrors found in people's homes on Reddit, I'm realizing how rare and nice that is. It has a fireman's pole. You can go down it if you don't feel like taking the stairs. It was constructed in the 1800s and had pirates live in it. Also it has made stairs in the back. I read this as it's got mad stairs in the back. Like, check all these stairs out, son. Got stairs that go up and stairs that go down. Even a few steps that don't even connect to she. MAAAD stairs. We have a really small apartment, and my room is half bedroom, half kitchen, so there's a fridge in my room. Not my current residence, but when I moved into an apartment in Humboldt County, sight unseen. When we got to the apartment, we started looking around. Opening up one of the closest, there's a small, 3-foot high door in the back, about chest level. We open it to find an enormous grow room above our apartment. The building we were in had a peaked roof that ran about a block. This was the grow room. It had power, running water, hydroponic tables in it, all built into this room. We realized why the property management company paid the electric bill. They didn't want people using this room. We ended up using it for storage, until one night we heard a strange rustling above our heads. I peeked my head in, and there was a scrawny little kitten in there. She had discovered the attic by walking across the gutters into a small little opening that was originally used for the grow room. We named her Attic Cat and she lived with us for about a year until succumbing to feline HIV and feline leukemia. RIP ceiling cat. It's on 4.5 acres and I can do what the frick I please. Ride an ATV, target practice, have a pet pig, whatever. Yes, I love my land. 80 acres of cattle and forest. I don't have to put up with those silly hoers. I get to start fires whenever the frick I want. Not like a little fire pit. I am talking huge brush fires. I work all day to cut and pile the brush. Then at night I pour gas all over it, light it on fire, and sit on a stump and drink a cold beer. I have a skylight that faces towards the east that gradually wakes me up as the sun rises. I've never felt so natural before in sleep cycles. I have an iPhone that plays Let the Bodies Hit the Floor at full volume to scare me awake every morning, so I can relate. I can literally throw a stone into the sea while in my house. Comes in handy when jet skiing and I fancy some lunch or a shower after. Apparently our house was owned by an author and an artist. They didn't use electricity and spent their evenings writing or painting in candlelight. They all slept on mattresses on the floor and apparently they used their son as some weird social experiment. They kept him locked in his room in the dark. The rest of the details are vague. You know how most fridge doors try to close themselves after you open them? or open even further after a certain spot. Mine has a sweet spot that makes it remain still, allowing me to remove multiple things without having to deal with the door. It's the small things, really. I am not that much of an interesting man. A flushing toilet and tapped water. Grew up using a pit latrine and no piped water. Sometimes I think people from the developed world take things like functioning sewerage systems and clean, tapped water for granted. Back when I was still living at my parents' home, I never used to take water at night so as to avoid going to the pit latrine in the middle of the night due to insecurity. Even my father discouraged this as I would have to wake him up so that he could accompany me, and opening the door at night was a security issue. You never knew who was waiting for you outside. This is something almost every woman has to do, as a trip to the latrine at night may result in an assault. However, this applies only to the rural areas, as most city houses and apartments have functioning toilets and clean water. Now I can take as much tea and water as I want at night without having to worry about leaving my house to use the bathroom. May sound strange to you, but over here I have something majority of my country mates don't have. It's the first place I've ever had that is all mine. That alone is exciting. It's mine. I own it. I keep it looking nice. And it's mine. That's the coolest thing about it. My parents bought a house that was some kind of prototype in the 50s for all electric houses that would be more efficient than models which used things like coal or oil to heat them. All of the switches are these weird low voltage switches that you can't buy anywhere anymore. No one makes plates for them either, but the only solution to replace them is to replace the wiring as well. So they are stuck with them. They put a gas HVAC system into it, but the original heating system was coils, which were in the ceiling. This was great for heating your attic, but not very efficient otherwise. And to top it all off, the driveway has an electric underground heater made up of coils going up and down these 40 or 50 yard drive. They've never run it. I don't think it's even connected these days. But if they were to turn it on, it'd probably dim the lights everywhere else in the neighborhood. I imagine the meter would probably max out a la Clark Griswold's in Christmas Vacation. My mom passed away a few years back, but dad still lives there. I'm trying to get him to sell the damn thing so I don't end up inheriting that disaster. The only thing that's cool about my house is none other than the fact that my wife and I, own it. We didn't take out a mortgage. We didn't get a loan. Just bought it, and her parents helped a little too as a wedding gift, but still, ours. The freezer. Dad joke. We have a small cellar door in the garage of the house we just moved into. On the door it has keep out. This means then as you go in, you have to crouch down. There's a few rooms, and in the second room there are drawings on the brick walls. Creepy black drawings that look like they've been done by children. One is a face of a happy panda, but at the same time it's an angry man. There is also a little picture frame with a picture of Jesus in it sitting on a pillar. It looks like a scene straight out of Paranormal Activity. Pretty sure I'm fricked. Well, I'm 20 and it's mine. I am 22 and technically own my own home with no debt, and it feels great. I don't have to ask permission to paint a wall or drill into it to make a surfboard rack. It is a little misleading for me to say it that way though, considering my home is a sailboat I bought for $3,000. I have an indoor BBQ next to a fireplace in my dining room. Sad thing is I haven't fired it up yet. I live in MN. Winter BBQs could be glorious. I live in the middle of the woods on the side of a mountain with absolutely no neighbors. This means that I can also eat breakfast completely nude while sitting outside on my deck. But I suppose anyone can do that regardless of having neighbors or not. I have a window in my downstairs shower facing the street, allowing me to wave at passerbys as I soap and soak. That my husband and I each have our own office that we agreed was our own space to decorate and make our own. Mine is light yellow and I am able to have a large picture of flowers, my Gone with the Wind collectibles, Disney stuff, Barbies, and my pink computer that my husband built me for a wedding gift because he is awesome. Out on display without any worry that it's too girly. I guess it is my woman cave and I love it. I live in a professional recording studio. It's a 2,500 SQFT penthouse loft in downtown LA, and I have sound treated the main room so that I can record live drums in it and have tracked produced a number of albums for various local artists here. Not currently, but before my house was remodeled the entrance to my basement was pretty much a hatch door that was disguised as tile. So to get to the basement you had to lift up a piece of floor about 2 meters long and use a pole to stand it up for so you can go down the stairs underneath. For the longest time my friends thought it was a dungeon. Me and my girlfriend bought this apartment 2 years ago and fell in love with it instantly. 2 weeks after we bought it, after we came home from a long day's work we came home to a 50-inch TV mounted on the wall. No explanation and all the doors and windows had been locked all day, no one could come in or out. Still have it, still don't know how it got there. So yeah, my house has the ability to spawn televisions. It's a townhome in an apartment complex. We discovered that if the power goes out in the house, had a problem with our electrical panel shortly after we moved in, so 24 hours with no power in the middle of summer. In Florida, the garage keeps power because that's connected to the apartment's line instead of ours. So, technically, I have free power in the garage. It powers all of the outlets, the opener and the light and the external light out front. My guess is so that the maintenance guys have power for when they are doing work on empty units. I've not abused it yet. I really should. A 1500 square, featuring unfinished basement just full of potential for a media room, man cave, workout room, bar, etc. I've toyed around with basic floor plans, but I have to make sure it doesn't become a what if. We've only had the house a month now, so it's still a ways off, but sometimes I go down there and just stare at the wide open concrete dreaming. I can stand in all 3 major rooms, kitchen, bedroom, computer room, at the same time. A guy murdered his family and committed suicide in my mom's house. The blood spatter is still on the ceiling in the back rooms. You have been visited by the snake of great corn. You will be blessed with corn for eternities to come, but only if you comment, "Corn me up, snake." If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video, or don't. Either way, have a great day you magnificent people.